help you with something?
It's on. Unreal.
This is starting to be a nightmare. That can be my opening. What is up, guys? Last video we went and got this Lincoln, went and got this Pontiac, and today we're gonna start cleaning this Lincoln out and pulling some stuff off the Pontiac, kind of getting both of these started here. So keep watching and see how much we get done. So this Lincoln is completely full of scrap. Not really mad about it. Looks like we scored a pretty good creeper here. Other than that, most of it's pretty much trash. There's some wheels in there, some kind of a rear bumper for something. But we'll get everything out of here. Super muddy out back. It's not really worth pulling this thing out back next to my scrap bins. It's also not worth bringing my scrap bins up here. So we're going to put everything out of the car on my trailer and take it out back and put it in the scrap bins. Well, I don't think you guys can notice, but it's actually been 3 weeks since we've touched either one of these. I know it looked like it was 1 second with the flippy thing, but yeah, we have about 7 days before the Derby, so we're gonna go ahead and get going on this car. We might pause on that one to see where we're at, but I actually had to get my gallbladder pulled out. That wasn't very fun. So I was down for a week and then had to go back to work, and the week before I got my gallbladder pulled out, it rained for the whole week. So we're a little behind, but I think, I don't know, maybe we'll get it done. We're gonna try. So let's I was gonna say I know exactly where to start, but I think we'll just pull the hood off and the clip off and the bumper off and cut the frame off and maybe swap the rear end, and we'll see what happens. So I don't know if any of you guys have ever messed with Pontiacs, but they kind of do the front clip goofy, and they have their horns here, and then right back here is where the inner fender well is, and there's the core support piece that goes underneath. So in order to get this off, you'd have to take the bracket off. Well, by the time I got that off and ready to go, there's no room to get sockets in. It's just a pain in the butt. So I just cut these off and pulled the clip off, and I think what we're gonna do is take this bracket off, unbolt it from here, and we'll just mount our bumper right there, and then our all thread will go right through there, down through, and then it'll end up coming out right here on the bottom of the clip. And then we'll just have a spacer in there, and it should be good. So I think our next step is I need to throw a tie rod on here. It's missing a tie rod so this thing can steer. Get our mounts off, get that all ground up, and then we'll probably go back to the rear end and get that pulled out and try to get the other one in there and see how far we get. Alright, so we got the motor mounts out, got the brackets off the side, and I think I'm just going to come in here with a cutoff wheel, cut that guy off, and cut this guy off, and then our bumper will just mount flush to that. And with this rule set, which is Montana Class 3, you get a 10x4 by 3/8 bumper bracket, and it has to start at the bumper, so we'll come back 10 inches with that tied to the bumper. That'll be our bumper bracket somewhere in here, and should be looking good. I kind of like how this is where it's at. A guy can come all the way back to where your all thread goes, but I think just the way that Pontiac clip kind of fits on here, I think the best way to do it is just leave that 1.5 to 2 inches and rock it, especially because of that bumper bracket. I mean, with this, this is a Pontiac Lemans, basically like a Monte Carlo Grand Prix. There's a good chance it's going to bend right here, especially when our 10-inch bracket is coming here, but everyone likes them to bend in different places. We'll just see how this one goes. Alright, we got our frame cut off, all squared up, both sides. Got tie rod in. Looks like it's going to need a little adjustment. This one's pretty straight and that one's kicked out, but it's on there, it'll steer. I think right now we're going to jack this thing up and get that old rear end pulled out, and then put the rear end 10 bolt out of the Monte Carlo from last year. Go ahead and toss that thing in there. Sitting here literally ready to go. Springs. Probably pull these control arms off, so I think one of them's bent. Just pull all those off. Leave the ones that are in the car and pull that rear end out with no control arms. Put this rear end in with no control arms. Bolt everything up, get our springs in, and should be good to go. All right, we got the rear end all pulled out. That was pretty fun. Spencer and Owen showed up to help, so we're gonna get the cross member all ground up and a little snout on the front of this cut off so it doesn't rub the steering. I don't know if any of you guys do that, but it's a real good idea. Okay, we got that front piece all cut off, ground up for motor mounts. I'm going to take these control arms off real quick and get this thing slammed underneath there. All right, we got the rear end in. The 23's in there. Pretty good bumper height. Took both of these chain come-alongs to get that top to twist in, but turned out pretty good. Looks really good. Okay, now I think we'll get this trunk tucked, kind of figure out where we need that, and keep going. Okay, so when I tuck the trunk, I usually find out how far I gotta go down. About 18 inches. So then I'll measure from this 18 inches. And that's where I'll do my cut. So 15. Marker on it? Ow, what happened?
He come running across the tire tracks.
You got boo-boo.
Yeah.
I really just
fix this movie.
I'm really okay, he says.
Whoa, look at
Leave it alone. Keep moving. Come on, this way. Come here, Anna. Okay.
I'm okay.
Yeah, I know you're okay because you're tough. But for God's sakes, no, he's marking it. Do not get up on there. He's marking it. Okay.
What's in there?
Do you want to come have a sip?
Open. Okay. Are you just nipping it off?
Share.
Nipping that liner off. Think you do?
I'm just gonna do the.
Oh, yeah. Notch it.
Yeah, basically. But yeah, the inner.
Yeah, so with that on his face, he's not going to his grandma's this week.
Just right.
Now, found it.
You want a piece? No? Okay.
Okay, so what we do on here, the body can't come off the frame, so I just cut holes right above, and on these mid-size cars, there's a pretty good little dump right here on the frame, so just heat that up, dimple it, do the same on the other side, and that's pretty much right where the end of the tuck goes. Folds up real nice. So we got both of these cut, got them both dimpled. Should that'll land right at the end of our trunk tuck. Trunk rules, 3-inch wide strap every 5 inches. So we'll start here. We'll have a 5 inches to here. So we'll go ahead and mark these all out. Another 5-inch. I'll get us all the way up here. I just mark these out just so I know where to grind, so I'm not grinding a whole bunch. And go over from here, 5 inches, 10, 5, 10, and repeat. Okay, we are running a 1972 350 with a turbo 350. Bought it from my cousin. Came out of a running driving 72 Chevy pickup. We just pulled it out of the weeds. I'm gonna hook onto my trailer, back up to it, throw it on the trailer, and go get that thing washed up. Alright, we got back with this. Transmission came out pretty decent. They just don't make those car washes like they used to. There ain't no pressure at all, but I think that'll work. Taking a piss or what?
Yeah, I'm gonna turn the lights on.
Oh yeah.
Maybe you're a gas.
Okay, now we are going to try to change these spindles out. It's Monte Carlo bolt style, and I don't have any of those. Everything I have is 5-on-5 or 5-on-5.5, 4.5. So we're gonna put some spindles that came off the Monte Carlo. I'll throw those on there. And then we can put 5-on-5 bolt pattern on. is the next morning. We ran out of light last night and the mosquitoes were super horrible, so we called it a night. But we got both sides done, got the spindle swapped out, ball joints in. We just ended up switching the upper A-arm because they already had the ball joint rings in them. Had a broken ball joint, so we swapped that one out. Suspension should be done. I'll grab some tires off another car here soon and throw those on the front, and we'll be back to a roller. But right now I'm gonna go get a smaller fuel pump, because the fuel pump on there is like the old style, big canister style, and some header gaskets, and figure out what we need to do for pulleys. And I need to put a plug on the side of the block, but we're gonna go do that and then get that thing put together. All right, so I'm working on the motor now. We did a Facebook Marketplace rebuild, turned her black, turned out pretty good. We got to stab the lower cradle on. This is just a small lower cradle. For the guys that don't derby, basically this ties both sides of the block together and then the front bolts. So it ties it all together real nice, so we don't have to worry about break on block. Gonna put the headers on, and then I have a different distributor cap with some bigger wires. Swap that out, and then we got to put some pulleys, and trying to decide if I want to run the alternator or not. And other than that, we should be good to go with this thing. Alright, so we got the cradle on, got the headers on, got the cap on with different plug wires. These are the big, thicker ones, so we'll run those. This is basically like a header, I guess you could call it like a header protector. Basically it bolts like this to the other side, and then it keeps your headers from bending in or out or whatever when the hood bends. So we'll get that hooked up after we get it in the car and the air cleaner on, and you can made it to where you can adjust your height, and then the hood will just kind of ride against it. That way the hood doesn't crush in on the air cleaner as well. Other than that, I think we have some tranny lines to pull out, and then I'll have to drill and tap the yoke, because we have a bolt-on yoke that slips in, and then a slider drive shaft that actually bolts to that yoke and then bolts to the rear end. That way when the car starts moving, it can slip, go longer, shorter, whatever it needs to do. So I'm gonna figure out water pump and pulleys, and then we'll probably go dump this off in the garage and get back to work on the car. Okay, we got all set up in Spencer's shop. Don't worry, you didn't miss anything. We're just got trunk all lined out. Spencer's gonna weld them on. I'm gonna work on cleaning everything out of here so we can do a cage tomorrow. Spencer's back there welding. We're gonna take out this stock steering column. Basically, we just need to take those bolts out and these two up here. We actually have a slider shaft going in, so this piece will end up connecting to this piece. Pull off the gas pedal. And then I believe this is a 1/2 inch. Should be just these ones. This whole thing should come out. Boom. And then these will slide up here and get bolted down. Well, the normal derby thing happened. Ran out of gas. So I guess we'll continue this tomorrow. It's the next day. Got Brooke over there welding on the trunk. We got a bottle of argon. Spencer's working on A-arm straps, and I'm drilling and tapping this Turbo 350 for a bolt-on yoke. All right, this is what this yoke looks like all bolted on. That's all ready to go. Spencer's working on getting motor mounts on, and then probably have to do some tranny fittings, and then this thing will be ready to stab in there.
Well, as usual, Eric's gone. We got the A-arms.
And it has no preset spending limit.
Welded.
My purchasing power adapts to my business needs. My Spark card helps me fulfill my mission of bringing Masa to the masses. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Is what it is.
All right, working on window bars. Spencer's welding the back bumper on. Basically, we're just gonna set this in here. It's already ready to go. And then we're gonna cut some grooves in the sheet metal up here, lay it down inside, and get it welded. And then this will eventually get all cut out for distributor clearance. So That'll be our next step. Alright, got the window bars all welded in. Didn't clean much up, but hey, we're in a hurry, so. Gonna go ahead and throw a patch over this so we can get that seat bolted in, and that'll be my next project. Spencer's cutting out the firewall. Got my dad putting the motor together. I got these pieces all marked out, ready to grind, and we'll get those welded in. Alright, well, we got the floorboard all welded in. Spencer's ready to go in with the motor, so here we go. Okay, we're going in with our cage. We got one side started. Looks like it's gonna line up pretty good. And then this side we're gonna have to notch out here so the cage can go in. Other than that, it's coming together pretty good. Alright, so we got the seat all bolted in, got the pedals bolted in, got the cage all pretty much done except the gas tank protector in the back. And just dropping in the tranny cooler. So then we'll do all the bolt-ins and go from there.
You can't say tranny.
Oh yeah, that's right. You can't say tranny. Alright. Got the shifter in, got the switches in, got the tranny cooler in. It's about 12:30, so we'll see you tomorrow. Alright, we're back in the shop. I think this is day 4. Gonna get the battery in, get the train lines hooked up. Should have this thing running and driving today. Everything all wired in. Got to do the gas tank protector. Got some new fittings for the gas tank. Oil change. Picked all that stuff up. Throw the slider on. Cross member needs to get slid forward. Try to tackle the steering, seat belt, and maybe get a front bumper put on. And then we still got to put water pump and stuff like that on. So let's get after it. Day 4. All right, so I'm running a pinion brake on this. So I cut a hole in the floor, and then we'll hook to the existing line. The other line broke off, so we grabbed another one. That'll run from that hole up to our master cylinder here on the floor. So we'll get that put in. Well, we've been busy enough to where I forgot to film. So, got the steering bracket all done, got the battery box in, it's all completely wired, got the fuel pump in. Spencer changed the oil. We're working on some other stuff and we're about ready to fire this thing up, I think. Yeah, fire it up.
Fire it up, maybe.
Oh, we got the bumper pushed in, ends cut off. Got a seat built in. Got the gas tank in. The gas tank protector. Brakes are all bled. Put the steering in. Got that all done and bolted in. Just put a water pump on. Drive lines in. Started tacking the door. Getting closer. All right, don't run Pontiac, kids, because frame rail's got to go through there. So got the fenders on and realized there ain't no way the bumper's going on before or after. So core support's out, bumper's next.
Dirty and the crackhead's back.
Well, we got the bumper on. Totally forgot that I need to do brackets. We get a 10-inch 4x3/8 bracket. That would have been nice to put on beforehand, but these aren't fun. 10 out of 10, don't recommend. So if you want to run a Pontiac, put a Chevy clip on it or something, just don't do this. But yeah, you could run a Crown Vic too. We'll see you tomorrow because we're done for tonight. Well, today we got a late start. Turns out going on a parts run lasts a long time. Got some stuff squared away with the Derby. Spencer's working on putting the condenser in. Bumper and brackets are all done. Core support's all in. We had to make a throttle bracket. I'm not sure where mine is, but that's done. Header, hood, whatever, protector's done. Just welding up the driver's door. Spencer got this door welded. Still got to work on the back bumper, but other than that, we are getting real close. Shifter's done, on, adjusted. Throttle's in and done. Don't know if the power steering works yet, but we will see. All right, doors welded. Got all the clip bolts in. Spencer got the AC condenser in the front. We're gonna get that all bolted in, and then gonna run some 1-inch all threads. We're allowed 6, so we'll do one here and one on the other side. And then these plates are welded on. This kind of helps keep the fender and the inner fender well together, and then we'll be running all thread up through that hole up through the top, so we'll do 1, 2, 3 per side. Honestly, the hood's probably next, radiator, but we're getting there, right? Yeah.
One, two, three, fire.
Bye.
Okay, so AC condensers all bolted in. At our rear, hood mounts welded in.
It's for making holes.
You think that'll work, huh? We're cutting holes in the hood. I always measure off here what I need, off here what I need, and then use a sheetrock square and square it off the fender, and then measure this way. So that's what we're gonna do now, is cut some header holes. All right, so we're back at it. Day number 6. This thing is about done. So today, got the radiator in, hoses in, training fluids all checked, power steering's working. Working on bumper straps. For the front, we're allowed 3 by 3/16 by 30, 2 per bumper. We're just gonna weld that up here and bend it down there. And then in the back, Spencer started welding these on. Gonna wrap those down underneath. Finish welding the bumper on all the way. It runs, it drives, brakes work. Doors are completely welded, trunks welded. We're coming right along. So right now, I kind of beat this in with a hammer, but we're gonna start our body lines. And if you don't know, obviously, some people call it creasing, I call it body lining. You put your own lines in it and it makes it a little more rigid. And we're just gonna be using this Harbor Freight long barrel. This is the one that I like to use. This seems to work good, but basically we're just gonna cave this in all the way, probably do a line right here and then stick with this line maybe a little underneath. And then the front side, I'm gonna keep this top body line and then kind of make another line here, and just a simple once over. It kind of gets the metal going in instead of out. Might not necessarily be stronger, but it definitely keeps the metal in and packs nicer. I do know that. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. Other than that, I mean, there really isn't much on this car left. We did get the all threads done, I forgot to mention that. Fresh cars at this show don't allow plates, but being I'm the promoter and this is a raffle car, I think we're going to put 2 plates right here. So after the heat, you get 6 5x5 by 3/16 plates, and we're just gonna basically go from the back side of the 10-inch bracket and fix that little spot right there. And I think this will be a lot better car. Everyone else will be pre-ran with 6 plates. This will be fresh with 2. So let's get after it. Alright, so we got that all done. Turned out pretty nice. The little air compressor isn't keeping up that great, but I mean it's doing its job. So with these rules, you're allowed 5 bolts for the fenders, so we got those in, and 1.25 washer. We just used carriage bolts and did them backwards so they looked a little cleaner. But yeah, let's move to the front fender and knock that one out. Air compressor's all ready to go. Gave it a little time to cool down, but yeah, looking pretty good. This is actually going a little better than I thought it would. Alright, so we are done.
No updates. We're done.
Yeah, we're done. I don't know what else to say. 6 days, 6 half days, pretty much. So we have decided we're gonna paint this Spencer's favorite color.
Fucking clear.
Clear.
Clear. Don't say that. Bad.
Spencer mixed up a little batch of his rusty rust. Rusted these out a little bit, but that patina, it's just way too cool to paint it. So got some clear coat, so we're gonna back this out and clear coat it up.
Of course it does.
All right, it's all clear coated. Turned out pretty good. Spencer had some Oli stickers from 1978 on the shelf, so we put them on there, but turned out really good. David.
Go, can't stay here. To see you go.
Well, that whole weekend happened, so it was pretty crazy. Didn't get a chance to film anything. We were so busy, but we do have some aftermath of the Raffle car, so let's check this out. Had some frame seam let go right here, push back a little right here. The kid that won it, his name's Cody. Great driver, never drove before, always wanted a derby. He did a really good job. This was a really bad corner shot that caused that. The trunk rolled perfect and stayed really nice for a long time until that nasty corner shot he took. This side looks really good still. Hump's starting to go. I think it kind of sucked that way when that other side got corner shotted. This side's tipping up a little too. This frame seam stayed together. We put 2 fix-it plates, one on each side right on that S A-arms forward, and I think it helped this car a lot. Bumper pushback on this side. Other than that, everything stayed really great. He ended up getting 3rd place, won $5,000. He's on top of the world right now, so, and I think we probably got him hooked on derbying. I never really walked through to kind of give you guys like a rundown of like what parts are in it or where we got them or anything like that. So I know a lot of the guys that are watching that derby, they know what all this stuff is, but for some of you guys, maybe you don't know or you want to know. But regardless, the front bumper, we'll start here. This is off a 75 Impala, 74 Impala Caprice. The seams are all welded, and it's basically just welded right to the front of the frame. 1-inch all thread in the front, 3-inch 3/16 straps in the front, 30 inches long max. AC condenser came out of like an AC unit, came from the scrapyard. The radiator in it is 30, I believe it's like a 30-inch, 30 by 19. Came from Dylan Radiator online. Motor and transmission came out of a 72 Chevy pickup. Running, driving, it literally just came right out of there and in here. The only thing we did is put a lower, older XXX cradle on it. I'm sure you can probably find those somewhere. I honestly don't even know if he makes them anymore. Headers came from Elliott Motorsports. Window bars were made quite a while ago. Saved those. Battery is like a D8 dozer. Cat battery is what I call them, from CarQuest. The 1-inch steering shaft with the knuckle and the slider came from NLR.com. Steering wheel, I think, is just some random one with the quick disconnect on it. And then the transmission cooler came from NLR.com. All the cage material is pretty much a combination of last year's car and then some 4-inch square tubing that we had laying around and some other random stuff. Switch panels from Near It. You can go online and find those. Those are relatively inexpensive. I don't think you can make that thing for even close to that price. I think they're like 125. Haven't got one in a while. They might have went up. Ski/Near It shifter, skiinc.com. Those things are flawless. They're 200 some bucks. Cable shifter. Gas brake combo came from NLR.com. That thing works great. Bleeds up really quick. 10-gallon stainless tank from Catskill Fab. He has a Facebook page. Really nice tank. I really like where the spout comes out at the bottom. It's got a little drainage area, so you're literally using all of your fuel. The slider drive shaft under here, I don't know if you guys can see that even. It came from E2 Demolition. I don't believe he makes them anymore, but I'm sure there's some used ones out there. The 10-bolt rear end, 456 gears. It's got a posi. I believe they're just 31 spline axles. It's just a stock rear end that came from Postal Mopar. Wheels and tires came from Bohr Christensen all the way around. These are a Dodge Van. They call them SS wheels. I just call them Dodge Van wheels. He made those all up. Tire inside a tire. They're doubled up all the way around. These are 23s. These are also Dodge Van or Dodge SS wheels. These are 550s. Tire inside a tire. Tubed. These ones have the bead protector on the outside, where these ones I actually put on the inside, because these skinny rims, when you narrow them up, they tend to start bending the lip on the inside, so we stiffen that up. Ball joints are QA1s from NLR.com. I believe I already told you guys, but the spindle is off a, I want to say probably one of my Buicks from Blizzard Bash, so 75, 76 Buick Electra, maybe a 73. Either way, all the same. That way I have the 5 bolt pattern, because Monte Carlos are the weird ones, and I literally have no derby wheels for that bolt pattern. A-arms are off last year's Raffle car, that Monte Carlo. They already had the ball joint rings welded in. They're kind of heated up and formed to this. They bolted right on. Hood plates came from TAC Fabrication, Trace Peterson in Williston, North Dakota. He made these for me last year. All the hood plates are 5x5. Door wraps came from Nevada with 22 graphics. These things turned out really sweet. Always does a good job. I don't know if I'm missing anything else. We had straps on the back as well, bumper straps. Those things are pretty much buried in the trunk now, but all in all, it held up really good. He was hitting super hard with this thing, and the front end held up great for him. So I was really glad to see mine and Spencer's build, along with the help of my wife and my dad, over the course of literally, I think it was like 6 half days with all the running around and stuff we were doing. So really impressed with this build. Shout out to my buddy Casey for saying, yeah, go get the car and get it built. So this worked out really good. He's really happy. I'm really happy. This car will run again, so we'll keep you updated on that. Other than that, thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.